Hello, YouTube. It is Thursday night, and we're going to play a little bit of Phantasy Star Online. It's been a while. I apologize for that, but that's just the way things go. Been really busy lately. Had quite a few extra shifts at work and things like that, and on top of that, I've just been really busy. Interestingly enough, some of you have commented in the videos and some of the chats about some music stuff that I've been working on, and I've actually been really focusing on that lately. Just had some time in the evenings, and I've been experimenting with some of my little boxes and stuff like that I have, and also really picking up the acoustic guitar again. I really kind of let that slide. I had a background in classical for a long time, and did electric, acoustic, bass, all that fun stuff, and put it down quite a few years ago. When I say put it down, I mean played infrequently quite a few years ago, to the point where a lot of songs I've forgotten and stuff like that. But I picked it up, felt good, and I've been playing around with a couple of different melodies that I used to know, and some different kind of finger picking exercises and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But it's also meant that it's been eating into some game time, which isn't necessarily the end of the world either. On top of that, in previous videos, I've also mentioned that I've been rebuilding my desktop, and I'm almost there. So my previous desktop, maybe I can actually put this over and show you guys. My previous desktop was just a generic HP Pavilion. And I ended up getting this really interesting gaming case. And what I ended up doing was I rebuilt it completely. And when I say rebuilt it, I mean I didn't just put my old computer back into it. I took all of the guts out of my old computer, replaced some components, upgraded some components, and rebuilt the entire front panel. So now this is what it kind of looks like at this moment. So this is my new PC, sort of. Added some blue LEDs. Kind of made it look pretty sharp looking. Added some new components, upgraded all of the USB ports to USB 3.0 because it was an older computer. I will be upgrading the processor to Core i7 8700K. I also rebuilt the front panel here. And when I say I rebuilt it, I mean I completely rebuilt it. So this all used to be silver. Now it's matte black, of course. Made this button myself for the power on, power off, and you can see that it's got the backlight flashing. Put in the DVD-ROM, incorporated, because I always used to swap out drives manually, a drive bay where I can just put in a 3.5-inch SATA, as well as put in a sorry, let me get that door. 2.5-inch SATA, and gives me 2 extra USB ports. Here's a blank right now. Here's an expansion for 2 USB ports, and then a multi-card reader, and then another blue LED fan. So yeah, I'm really happy how that's turned out. Again, I will be doing a couple of more upgrades in the very near future. Most of them are going to concern the processor. So I'm going to upgrade it, like I said, probably to a Core i7 processor. I was looking at going maybe the Ryzen processor, but it looks like the Core i7. I've been a Intel sort of purist for the most part for most of my life, so going on to a different processor at this point seems very unfamiliar to me. So I know the Core i7 is quite reliable. It also has a built-in GPU. I was going to upgrade my graphics card, but I'm going to see what the built-in GPU actually looks like on the processor, and maybe stick with that for a while. Inevitably, I would like to upgrade my graphics card. I'm kind of holding out. I'm hedging my bets so that I realize that cryptocurrency won't fail completely, but a lot of the people that are mining right now might get out of the game and be selling their cards at pennies on the dollar. I've already seen a couple of local people selling mining rigs, so they seem pretty unhappy with how that's developing. Maybe they're not making enough money quick enough. I'm not 100% sure, but as most of you know, graphics card prices have gone way up in price recently, and most of that's related to people buying them for cryptocurrency mining purposes. So again, I'm hoping by the end of next year, a lot of people are going to be selling their rigs and I can get a nice cheap graphics card. But Let's fire up the console here and let's just see who's online, because I guarantee we're gonna find some people tonight. So let's go to the main gaming screen. Here we are, and load it up. And what we're gonna do here is have some cupcake, red wine, red velvet to be exact. It's nice. I like it. It's kind of a bold flavor. You know, you think cupcake as the label, and you're like, wine's for chicks. It's like, no, it's actually one of my favorite. So let's pour that. Put this off to the side here. And as always, we don't play this enough to keep our time set, despite the fact that we have a brand new rechargeable battery in play. So let's play and load up our USB GD-ROM. I do have a whole stack of things here that I would like to show throughout the video. I'll probably get to it intermittently. There's a couple of things here that are actually quite interesting, and a couple of trades, that I can't show you, unfortunately, because they're already gone. It was a couple of local finds at some thrift stores, but I'll get to that in a bit. Let's just see who's online here first. Okay, so who is in the chat? All right, we've got 2 people. One person saying this is for Billy Boy. Well, thank you very much, whatever it was that you gave me. All right. Here we go. You know what? This is probably the only MMO I've ever really played, to be quite honest. You know, I've been around the gaming scene for quite some time in terms of just a player. And I remember when World of Warcraft came out, I was intrigued, but I knew that it was not something that I would really get into. And I missed a lot of the PlayStation 2 era gaming, including the Dreamcast for that matter, just because I was in college at the time and didn't have any money. But even for PC, I never really got into anything until much later. I didn't play Diablo 2 until much later, and Diablo 3 was probably the next MMO hack and slash that I played. There's this, of course, and that's pretty much it. I dropped the ball in Final Fantasy 11. I kind of wish that the servers were still up for that because I'd like to check it out, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, Vega, Altamira. Oh, we got 4 players, 1 team. That's not a good sign. I don't know if Silverant provides support for Blueburst, but I do know that Silverant will host PC players. So there's some instructions on the Silverant server. I suggest going there if you're interested in playing and check it out. Okay, so who do we got here today? Let's just say hello. And maybe we can convince this person to jump in game with us. In the meantime, let's see what other quests are up. Organize, join team, runes, runs, ultimate. Cool. Let's just chat with our friend here, and then maybe we'll see if we can jump into that game. I don't think I made anyone buy it, but I'm glad that I pushed you in the direction. It's always fun when you run into people that either watch some of these videos or watch the How to Get Your Dreamcast Online video that I put up a couple years ago. Okay. If I wanted to play 2, what's the easiest way? Well, I would say the easiest way to get on right now is go to Dreamcast Live and pick up one of PC Wizard's kits. The guy's 100% reliable. He's got the best stuff. He's got the USB line voltage inducer, which makes things a whole lot easier. And yeah, I would say go with his kit. It's about 60 or 70 bucks shipped. Really can't be beat, and it all works. He can walk you through the steps and everything like that. Okay, let's talk to our friend. Did you want to start? Let's see what our friend here is up to. A VH game? Maybe we can grind up a few levels. Yeah, let's help our friend out. We're not 100% sure who's in the ultimate game, but it's probably a quest in progress anyways. So let's just go to our chat here, guild card and choice search. Let's see who's actually in here. So Titan Guy, Lucid, and oh, cool. We got some good players tonight. So yeah, let's definitely jump in with these guys at some point. But let's help our friend out. Our friend. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Cool. Sounds good. All right, so we're gonna wait for our partner here, Tiago, to start a game and burst, and then we are going to jump in. Okay, so while we're waiting for our friend to burst, organize, join team, leveling very hard. Oh, still bursting. I want to show you guys a couple of things that I managed to grab out here in the wild. So one cool thing that I managed to find was this PS3 controller. So this is a Afterglow PS3 controller, and it actually feels really good. It's a Wi-Fi, it's not Bluetooth, but it does have some kind of like, it's just a flashy feature rather. The controller actually feels pretty nice. The buttons feel pretty responsive, but as you can see here, when you plug it in and get it loaded, now it's not going to communicate 100% with my computer because I have to set in the driver and stuff like that, but you just turn it on like you would a normal PS3 controller, but it has a little button on the back here. And what happens is when you hit it, hopefully it'll work, the entire controller glows. Pretty nifty. Again, just complete aesthetics. It doesn't really offer anything new or interesting to the controller, but hey, for $2 I figured why not, right? So I'm just going to power it down real quick, and then we're going to jump into this very hard game, and let's try and help our friend out a little bit. So got that, and let's change the gaming screen over, organize, join team, leveling very hard. Where's our wine? Here we go. Cheers, everybody. So yeah, thrifting's been kind of interesting recently. So the one thing I really wanted to show everybody, but unfortunately I was unable to because I sold everything too quick, is I've mentioned before, I've never really been a huge, I shouldn't say fan of the GameCube, but I never collected for it. I never really played games during the GameCube era. Sure, let's do it. I know that they do have a couple of good games for the system, and actually quite a few games I'm very curious about, but every time I find GameCube games, I always end up holding on to them and just trading them to other people for other better things. So this time I was thrifting, and I'll just tell the whole story actually, because it goes into kind of a secondary topic that I wanted to kind of bring up, and that is the aggressiveness of thrifting that I've noticed recently. So I was at my local Value Village, and I was out there at the right time. If you're there at that sweet spot where they got the trolley and they're just bringing out games and DVDs, you know you're going to get all the best stuff they have for that day. So fortunately I arrived at a time where they seemed to be bringing out a lot of new stock, and I was just kind of waiting around the area to see what was going on. Now, I complain about day pickers because these are the people that are there all the time. But I gotta admit, like, to some extent, I'm sort of like these people. Not 100% because I only stop in and I leave. I don't hang around all day, but these people are literally there all day long. And I know this because I hear the way they talk, and I, you know, sometimes, depending, it doesn't matter when I show up, they're always there. And there's this guy, he's a bit older, and when I say older, like I'm 37, he probably looked like he was in his late 40s, early 50s. And he's always got a shopping cart, and he's fairly rotund gentleman, quite aggressive with a lot of the other people there when people are digging through some of the stock. But seems to feel like he owns the place, and he has some sort of priority access to a lot of the new stock coming out on the floor. So I saw him, I just kind of acknowledged his existence in terms of like, okay, this is a person that's here all the time, and I don't say hi, I don't do anything like that, but it's just kind of like, okay, we're gonna look at some of the merchandise. And I noticed that there was about 7 GameCube games mixed in with the DVDs that were of quite, interesting caliber. So what I saw was, I ended up seeing a copy of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, a Legend of Zelda collection, also Metroid Prime, as well as, what else did I find? Was it Serious Sam? Yes, Serious Sam. Also found Blood Omen 2. And what else? Star Fox, Assault, and... Sorry guys, I gotta sort of pick back because I feel like there was another good one there. Oh, found Super Mario... Which one was it? It wasn't Kart. It was... I can't recall exactly. But anyways, some fairly decent GameCube titles. So, saw them. And, like I mentioned before, this person's a little rotund, so he might have some difficulty accessing some of these things as quickly as I. So as soon as I saw her, I don't grab anything off the carts. As soon as I saw her put some stuff on the shelf, immediately grabbed it off, and this guy tried to grab it out of my hands, and he got pissed. He started yelling at me, saying that I was a vulture, and saying that he was gonna grab that stuff, and why do I have to grab it all? I'm thinking to myself, like, so if I was to... Oh shit, I need my mag. I forgot I dropped it off. Damn, forgot my mag. One sec. So again, he started yelling at me and getting very angry that I grabbed these games, and he didn't like touch me or anything like that, but he kind of like just shuffled past me and grimaced and whatnot. And this isn't the first time this has happened, actually. In the same store about a week prior, I was in line, and there was a huge line of people, and this one guy was getting all fidgety behind me, had a whack load of stuff, and he was like, man, I just need to get in front of you if I got places to be. I told him, I was like, listen, buddy, like, we all got places to be. We all don't want to be in line. And ordinarily I wouldn't care to let somebody by, but there was, we'd all been waiting in line for like 20 minutes at that point, so we were all sort of in the same boat. We all wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, but he seemed to take a lot of offense at that. Like, there's one thing to ask and then be denied. Like, nobody is entitled to let you in front of them, especially when everybody's been waiting the same amount of time, and I don't really want to wait in line any longer than I have to either. So he started fidgeting and getting all uppity and stuff like that. And as I was paying to check out, he said something like, so you really couldn't let me through? And I was like, didn't acknowledge him. Then he just mumbles under his breath, fucking douchebag. And that's where I let my male posturing kick in and just kind of gave him the eyeball and mentioned that, when you really shouldn't talk to strangers like that when you don't know what they're capable of, or something to that effect. It was pretty funny, actually, because obviously I'm not going to hit anybody, but this guy seemed like he was sort of the, I don't know how you describe it. He was a young fella, and he seemed like he was full of pep, and he seemed like he enjoys sort of picking fights where he can't really follow through with them. Anyways, I'm not gonna get in a fight at a line in a stupid fucking Valley Village. That's ridiculous. Oh yeah, I'll get on it. Sorry, I forgot that Tiago asked me to scan the PSO guide for him. Anyways, that's beside the point. That's not a tough guy topic or anything. That was just something that I kind of got under my skin a little bit. But yeah, there's been a couple of guys like that have been really kind of aggressive at these stores, and I don't know what it is, but anyways, so grabbed the games, knew they were pretty good, looked through them, they were all complete, they were all not scratched. Brought them home and immediately posted them for trade, and they were gone that night. Some guy gave me like 175 bucks for a lot of them, so I was like more than happy to do that, or with that deal. I probably could have got a little bit more if I waited, but I figured, you know, cash in hand immediately is better than just sitting on things for a couple extra bucks. So I was quite pleased with that. Didn't really trade up or anything, but I did offer that to some people in my local trade groups. With that being said, I did actually have one really decent trade, and it was a decent trade because I think everybody got off well in it. And as soon as we kill this dragon, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, you know, I don't think anybody got the short end of the stick with this trade. It was pretty decent, but it was a game that I really wanted and a game that I don't really play. So I ended up trading somebody a copy of, oh sweet, did I get a level up? No, Tiago did. Cool. A copy of Castlevania Symphony of the Night for PS1 for a game that I've been looking for a while, and that is Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. So I was really happy about that. I felt like those were sort of, you know, the same price roughly in terms of, you know, the games. Like I think maybe Super Mario RPG might get a couple dollars more for, but I didn't really like. I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I didn't really like it that much, to be honest. I know that a lot of people really love that game, but it didn't do a whole lot for me. Maybe I should probably put a little bit more time into it. But I also emulate a lot of those games now, anyways, on my PSP and also through my modded PS2. And I am going to soft mod my PS3, I think, as well, and I'll show you why. But yeah, I was really happy with that trade. I thought it was a good deal. I feel like the guy got what he wanted, and he got a good game, and I got a good game. So it's kind of nice when you do a trade where nobody's really getting shafted. Everybody's walking out ahead. So Paper Mario. That's what it was. Wasn't Super Mario Sunshine. It was Paper Mario. So yeah, it was a decent little haul of games. But I belong to this local group here in Toronto. It's just called the Buns Gaming group, and you know, it's hit or miss. I've noticed that a lot of these local trades lately, people seem to, I don't know what it is, either they figure they don't know what you have when you're trying to trade it, or they just figure they could, you know, throw something in the air and hope that it sticks in terms of what they're offering as a trade. But you know, people are offering some pretty lame trades lately, to be quite honest. Really generic Nintendo titles and Super Nintendo titles and, you know, Game Boy and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people seem to really try to pump up trading for DSs with R4 cards, which are a dime a dozen. You know, that was one of the first flash cards I ever really experimented with. Actually, no, wait, that's not true, because I did end up getting my power packs before I got my R4 card. But anyways, I mean, the R4 card's like, what, 10 bucks? And you can get a DS for next to nothing, a DS Lite as well for next to nothing. So anyways, you get a lot of these trades and stuff like that, and it kind of gets me frustrated a little bit, because I know what I have is decent, and I would hope that whoever is offering a trade might have something decent to trade as well. And I'm just finding that that is happening less and less and less lately, and I think most of it is due to just people just hoping to hustle, right? Like people thinking that they're going to get, you know, gold for copper. But anyways, I definitely hold out, and I know that there's good people out there, and I just kind of gotta wait for them to come around. And when they do, I always end up getting something half decent, whether it's cash value or trade value, but you know, something decent in return. Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so let's I've noticed I've been hitting for a lot more. I don't know if that's because I've leveled up or if it's because of the tech that this guy is applying to my character, but very curious. Actually, I should probably feed my mag while we're here too. I don't think we're really in any risk of getting hurt, but my mag is in dire need of leveling. Okay, and one more diamate. Sweet. It's actually leveling up much quicker than I thought, but still only at 36, and obviously with the character at 114 you want to have a mag that's around 200, so I'm gonna keep working on this guy, and you know, it'll take as long as it takes, I suppose. Okay. Tiago's decent character for 64, holy smokes. I would argue that his character is probably better maintained than my character actually, so good on him. Definitely know when he makes it to level 80 he's going to be able to hold his own quite a bit, so. Okay, 1 second guys, I gotta let my annoying cat out. 1 sec. Gotta let the cat out. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, so. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Had to let my crying, whining cat out. So let's help out our friend here and get rid of some of these guys. Holy smokes. Okay, cool. Chat, in the Switch. Yes, I'm very interested in the Switch. Very, 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 very interested in the Switch. I really only have the opportunity to really engage in a lot of handheld gaming. So like my PSP, when I modded that with CFW, like that is amazing. Always really liked my 3DS. Also did that upgrade to my Game Gear, which I really enjoy. And I've got a slew of Game Boys. I've actually got a Lynx that I'm probably going to upgrade as well. Put a McWill LCD screen in it at some point. But I'm really holding out for the second version, maybe even the third version of the Switch. I just feel like this version, as cool as it is, there's got to be some improvements, like battery life for one. That's really got to be improved if I'm gonna end up picking it up. Also, I've heard lots of people discuss this whole screen bending issue or case bending issue, which concerns me quite a bit. So I want to make sure that that is resolved in the next iteration of the Switch. Also, I want to make sure that whatever dock they have isn't going to scratch the screen, and hope that maybe they'll consider making a, I don't know, like a boutique version, if possible, where they actually use a glass screen. Now, from what I understand, they use a plastic screen, which, you know, I don't have to explain why a plastic screen is crappy. As tough as it is, a plastic screen will always scratch. So I really want to wait for the next version of the Switch before I pick it up. Now that said, they have a lot of excellent games that have really interested me. I didn't play the new Doom, but to play it on the Switch seems like it'd be fantastic. Breath of the Wild looks like it'd probably consume my entire life. Skyrim as well. You know, a lot of these games that take a lot of time when sitting in front of a console or a computer to play, but I feel like with the Switch, I can kind of just pick away at it over time. And I really like the idea of using cards instead of optical media. I haven't really heard if there's a lot of day one patches, which always kind of upset me, but I think that's just the name of the game now. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to get away with games not having day one patches, which basically means that the cards you get, unless they do some sort of definitive Game of the Year edition where there's no longer any improvements, you're going to get a broken game on launch, and you're going to have to rely on a server to correct it. A server to download a patch to correct it, rather. So I don't really like that idea. I like the idea of having games in hard media that are complete and they're ready to go and they don't involve any updates. I do understand that DLC is going to happen with every game no matter what you get, but Nintendo has generally had a pretty solid track record at releasing games that are more or less good to go. Not a lot of improvements need to be made upon them, especially their first party titles. They're pretty much released, you know, as good as they're going to ever be. So I don't know, I'm kind of holding off, and I did hear that another version was going to come out very shortly. From what I understand, this newer version is not going to have any kind of amazing improvements, but the improvements that it's going to have, I don't know, they might entice me to buy it. It's all really going to depend on what the actual hardware is going to look like. So, or not look like rather, but what the actual hardware is going to perform like. Now, I know it performs as well as it can for the games that it plays, but I just want a solid handheld, something that I don't really necessarily have to baby. Don't have to worry about getting damaged or scratched, and I really don't want to have to worry about something that's going to be damaged simply by using it. So, not really, but I do have a weapon that I'm working on at the moment. Okay. So let's go through here. Oh, cool. Right on. Thanks. Cool. Well, our friend just loaded us up with some grinders. I guess don't need any either. So let's go and upgrade our weapon while we're thinking about it. But yes, I will get a Switch at some point. Most definitely. When? Not sure. I guess it depends when this revision is going to come out. I'll take a look at it. If it's where I think it needs to be, I'll probably get it, but I might hold out for another revision. It's only been out for a year, right? Okay. So, let's switch over our weapon, equip with our Android rifle, and let's throw some grinders on it. Cool. Okay. I think we are good. And let's just equip that and go to work. Yeah, so the Switch is pretty much the only next generation console I'm actually interested in. I know that I know PlayStation has actually announced that, or Sony rather, has announced that they're going to be releasing a PlayStation 5. And to me, like, the PlayStation 4 feels like it just sort of figured itself out with the new PlayStation 4 Pro. And even that I didn't pick up because it's more or less just a glorified console in my eyes. Or a computer rather, in my eyes. But to go with all of these, like, I don't know, like every year you've got to upgrade, every year you've got to upgrade to a new console, and they keep saying that they're going to be backwards compatible to the previous console, but it also devalues the console you have, so when you try to trade in or resell and stuff like that, like, I see PlayStation 4s going for like maybe a third of what they would cost new nowadays, which is kind of amazing because it's still a relevant console. But people know there's the PlayStation 4 Pro, so why would you pay what you pay retail 2-3 years ago for a PlayStation, vanilla for a PlayStation Pro? So I don't know. I think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot by just doing all these upgrades. The way I see it is just work with the hardware you got. Like, you've released a console, it supports this type of game, supports these types of engines, it has this capability, just work with it. A lot of other game consoles have done that for years, and even though there was improvements, especially with PC games, like when you think of when Super Nintendo came out, or even PlayStation 1, like those graphics were great for a console, especially on PlayStation 1, but nothing compared to what you can get on PC at that time. So you're always going to have better technology, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the technology you have isn't capable of producing some pretty interesting games. So I think that Sony should probably just stay the course and not constantly upgrade and release new consoles, because you're just going to polarize your audience. Like, I was kind of disappointed with the lack of PS3 support on the PlayStation 4, but I understand. Oh, that's right, we can't use our traps because we're playing very hard. Like, I understand the need to upgrade and stuff like that, but I don't think you should need to do it all the time, like every couple of years. The stuff that you have to work with is still pretty good, and you can produce a lot of good games. Like, when you think of PlayStation 3, like, to me, like, PlayStation 3 still, like, I don't have an HDR television, so I'm not really going to notice these new the new blacks and stuff like that they have with this new HDR content. But I'm glad it exists, and it probably works for some people, but is it really going to improve the actual game, or is it just the way the game looks? And, I'm not going to be one of those people that dismisses game resolution and the way it's presented, but at the same time, I think that you're kind of splitting hairs, and there's a point of diminishing returns on how good something can look and how much effort you're going to be able to make, like, to produce this new hardware for small increments. I think they should probably just hold out. They probably should have held out, probably shouldn't have not released the PlayStation Pro, used the technology they had, and just held off for a PlayStation 5. So that way the leap would have been much greater, but I think it's going to be so incremental that it's going to disinterest a lot of people. Unless they can release it a way that, is backwards compatible with, like, let's say PS3 games and PS2 games, and that would be an interesting console. But to be honest, I think if PlayStation does release a next generation console, they're probably going to do away with disc media completely, and we're going to see one of the first truly, I shouldn't say first truly, because obviously these types of consoles have existed, but in terms of a major game developer, we're going to see basically an Android box. Probably not going to see any hard media, definitely not going to see any discs, but probably going to see something with that's just straight downloadable content. That's sort of the way I see a lot of these things going nowadays. A lot of people have been seeing that for years, but I truly think that this is probably the last generation of consoles, except maybe for Nintendo, that are going to be releasing their games on physical media. I think everybody's going to just go the digital route and hopefully cut the costs, but also, just make things a bit more accessible to everybody. So, all right, waiting for our friend Tiago. So what else did we get? So I did do a couple of trades for I've been purging my PS2 collection. As I told everybody before, I recently installed FreeMcBoot on my PS2 Fat, and that is amazing. I've ripped all the games I had, I've been trading, I've been selling them. So I didn't manage to do a quick trade with a guy for, I can't even remember what it was. I think it was Taito Legends, and ended up getting Donkey Kong Land 2 and X-Men Mutant Academy for Game Boy, which, they're not rare, amazing games by any stretch, but games I didn't have, and I felt as though, hey, that's a good trade, because quite frankly, my PS2 collection was looking pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't have everything listed that I used to own for PS2, and I've sold about 50 games this week, so you know, really whittled down my physical collection. But all the games that I got were just games that I found in thrift stores and things like that, so most of them are going to cost you around $3 to $5. So I was happy to get whatever trades I can find, really. Again, some people were trying to lowball me with their trades. Some people were offering decent stuff, but I did end up selling quite a few recently, so hopefully my plan is to get rid of a couple more singles for trades or sale, and then when I get down to the wire of, like, let's say my more generic titles like the Call of Duties and stuff like that, I could maybe just bundle it all with an extra PS2 that I have and see if I can get rid of it that way. So we shall see. But I have actually one game that I've been playing, and I will definitely show everybody very soon, actually. I think maybe even the next stream if it comes in quick enough. But I'm waiting for a component cable for my PS2 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2 online. I've been using Dracula's server, and it is fantastic. I never played it when it was released, but I was really impressed with how smooth that game is online. And you know, it's no wonder it's really easy to connect to third-party servers. All you really, like, if you have a hard drive enclosure for the back and it's got the LAN adapter in it, you're good to go. Like, you've got everything you need. You've got your LAN adapter. All you need to do is figure out what servers are active and change your DNS to the appropriate server, and that's it. So yeah, I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. There seem to be a lot of people in those rooms that are very experienced in that game, much more than I, and they just clean house with me very quickly. But I enjoy playing it. They know all the spawn points and everything, so they find me, tag me, and take me out of the game. But still, a really good game. I never really played much Star Wars Battlefront back in the day, so it's kind of nice to finally understand what all the hype is about. And it's actually still a popular game today, shockingly enough. I don't know if people like playing it in single campaign or not, but definitely online is the way to go. So if you do have a PS2 that you've modded with free McBoot, no, wait, stop. Nice. Yeah, if you do use free McBoot and you want to play some Star Wars Battlefront, let me know. There's a couple of videos up there that really make it easy for you to learn how to connect. And yeah, once you connect, it's pretty easy. Like, all you do is just find the room. All the rooms are preloaded into the server list, and you just find an open game. So yeah, really happy to get that up and going. And again, I never got into I never really got into PlayStation 2 when it was a relevant console. I'll say that because it is kind of irrelevant nowadays. Back when it was released, it was mostly praised for the fact they can do a couple things. For one thing, you know, you could get online at some point. Also, the fact that it had a DVD player in it, which really sold the system. But most people don't watch DVDs unless you're a person like me, and I might show you a couple there in the pile. But even the output of the DVDs isn't spectacular. You can play widescreen, but you can only do it over composite. So you're much better off if you've got like a DVD that's enhanced for 16:9 televisions, to just run it in a PlayStation 3 or a cheap Blu-ray player or something like that over HDMI. Fussing with it over the PlayStation 2, really you're gonna get a lesser quality movie, but also you're going to really work on the life of that drive. And I think most people know that those old PS2 fat drives are, it's like, I've never had a problem with them, but they are prone to breaking down, so you probably want to preserve their life as much as possible. No technology was really meant to last forever, and those consoles are going on 20 years old now, so you really want to kind of hold on to them as long as possible. That being said, I recently fixed that turbo CD, and it seemed to run flawlessly after I added a little bit of grease to the rail. So who knows? I guess it all just matters on how you keep your equipment too. I think that has a big part to play in it. Now the PS2 Fat that I had, I picked up used at a thrift store for 10 bucks. Because it had the LAN adapter on it mostly, with my intention to soft mod it, but it was in real rough shape. It was full of grime and dust and everything like that. I spent a whole evening taking it apart, stripping it down right to its bones, and yeah, just really taking my time with making sure everything was clean, all the dust was out of it, made sure everything, like the rails were all well lubricated. I also wanted to make sure that the lens was super clean and stuff like that. So yeah, again, it just really wanted to make it as good as possible. The one thing I might do is a quiet fan mod, because anybody that's ever had a PS2 Fat knows that it is a loud console. I can hear it from all the way across the other room. So yeah, I'd really like to kind of take it apart and put a better fan in it, some sort of brushless fan. You can get them for pretty cheap nowadays, so I'm not really too concerned with the cost or anything. It's just finding the right size and when they'll fit in there without having to cut the case. So I'll do the measurements. It looks like it's probably a 40mm fan. I could be wrong. Could be a little bit smaller, but yeah, I'll do some research and see what people say. I'm not sure about the voltage, but if I can get one that has like a nice, I don't know, maybe like a blue LED or something like that in it, because I do like blue LEDs on my consoles, I think that might look pretty sharp. But even if it doesn't, just having a regular black brushless fan is fine too. So we'll take a look at it. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. But we don't want to hear about PS2, we want to hear about Dreamcast. So there is some really interesting news coming out for Dreamcast, and most of it doesn't have to do with the games, but the peripherals. And some of it is related to PlayStation, actually. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that I've ordered. And I may have ordered it prematurely, but from what I understand, this is exactly what I wanted for the Dreamcast. Now, I do have an adapter for the Dreamcast that allows me to plug in PS1 and PS2 controllers. It's not the Innovation adapter. It's actually the Total Control Plus adapter, which is fine. You know, like, I think it works quite well. It doesn't support the power pin, so it won't support like gaming wheels with force feedback or anything like that, which is kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Now, this new peripheral is by a company called Arcade Shock, and you can pre-order now for a reasonable price of $39.99. These guys are not affiliated with me, but I did pre-order it because it does look rather interesting. And this will allow you to play use PS4, Ps3 controllers, and it has a USB slot. Now that is what really fascinates me. I really wanted to get... I'm shocked that nobody has come up with this before, is that I've always wondered why nobody made a USB adapter for the Dreamcast. So if this is true and this works the way that I envision it working, this will be great, because then I could use some of my proprietary PC equipment for my Dreamcast. Yeah, it probably is, but we'll give it a try. Particularly rather, some of my racing wheels, because those don't rely on power from the power pin. Those can actually plug in. So use it here. I think we should probably wait until we get to Falls to use the PB. No? Are you ready? No. Okay, no prob. I'll wait here. Okay, cool. So while our friend goes to Pioneer, why don't we switch over here and I'll show you guys a couple of more things as well. So yeah, the Arcade Shock company, they released this new adapter. but I need to use PB. Unload it. But I was unclear. So the adapter has the USB port at the front. I assume that it's USB 3.0 or 3.1. And it doesn't explicitly say that you can use the adapter with PC equipment. So I'm very curious to see what it actually does. Now I did pre-order it. Again, maybe a bit prematurely, but I'm assuming that you can plug. Okay, yeah, we'll use together. Okay, go. Okay, so let's see. What do I got in terms of my PB? Well, I'll just follow along. Oh no, I missed it. I missed it. Damn it. Okay, I hit the wrong thing. Alright, well, whatever. Yeah, you just come right back and we will reconvene. Okay. Let me get my thoughts together while we're at it. Alright. So yes, this Arcade Shock company, they've released this new adapter. I pre-ordered it. I assume it's going to support all my PC peripherals, so I'm really interested in the racing wheel and also some of my flight sticks as well. So we'll give it a try, and I'll definitely give an honest review. But while we're waiting for our friend, let me just go over a couple of other pickups that I had. So as I told you, I picked up a couple of movies recently, and I like my shitty movies, but all the ones that I find are actually semi-valuable, so I don't necessarily pick up things that are cheap movies. I sometimes pick them up because I know that I can watch them and generally get a couple bucks for them on the slide. So Campfire Tales, which is an anthology film of horror stories, much in the vein of like Tales from the Dark Side, or even to more modern stuff like Trick or Treat, stuff like that. So this is a good one. I suggest watching it if you haven't seen it before, but the DVD will set you a pretty penny. Now, Double Dragon is not a good movie, but the clamshell Snapcase rather edition is widescreen, non-anamorphic, but widescreen nonetheless. The more common version you see out there is pan and scan, and there have been no intentions of re-releasing that movie as far as I know. And finally, I got a double feature of The Hidden and Hidden 2, which is another campy sci-fi flick that I've always enjoyed. But I did get some more gaming stuff and some book stuff too, which is kind of cool. So the gaming stuff that I got is a copy of, and it's actually a Sega product, which is kind of cool, is for Xbox Outrun 2. Now this is semi-coveted. It's supposed to be a really good racing game. It does go for a little bit online, but I do plan to get an Xbox at some point. I'm not sure the best route to go because I do want to play a bunch of original Xbox titles, including Shenmue 2, which I don't necessarily need because I can use it for the Dreamcast, but figured why not, I'll be a purist. And this was kind of cool because you don't see these quite often anymore, and it didn't come with the plastic case, I added it to it, but you don't see many NES games out in the wild in thrift stores, and you certainly don't see ones in box. So I got a complete copy of Mylon's Secret Castle, and I immediately went out and bought a little plastic case protector for it to add it to my complete collection of NES games. Now it's a terrible game, but hey, complete, and it's in not bad shape either. So what do we got going on in the chat here? Saw the new Dreamcast. So I guess a lot of people have seen sounds good. A lot of people have seen that adapter recently, so I guess a lot of people have questions on what it's actually capable of doing. But we will find out. Now, it does say that the release is mid-May, so hopefully we will have an answer for you then. Now, the other thing that went on pre-order is another Sega third-party product by Retrovision. Now, Retrovision, you may know as the company that released the component cables for the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. Now they are working on a Dreamcast cable over component, which is good for a couple of reasons. Now, component and VGA. VGA, from what I understand, is a little bit better than a component signal. But here's the problem. You've got the Akura HDMI box. You've got the VGA box that you can get, and upscale, of course. And then you've got this component box, or component cable that's coming out. Now, the component cable is probably going to be decent quality because all of the reviews that I've heard from the the cable that HD Retrovision released previously say that it's pretty decent. So I trust that their hardware is going to be up to snuff. The other thing is that VGA, as most people know that are Dreamcast enthusiasts, does not support all games. So the big problem is that you've got these boxes like the HDMI box from the Beharis brothers there, the Akura, and it does not support all games, so you have to switch over to S-Video, or you have to have some way like code breaker to force the signal, which kind of sucks. I gotta be honest, that's not what I want in one of those boxes. I just want it to be all-inclusive and go. But the component cable won't suffer that. You'll get a really nice output of the image, but you also don't have to worry about compatibility, which is what really fascinates me. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna probably pre-order that as well and see what it looks like. I think that the price is probably going to be right, and for most people it'll probably be a pretty good solution, because I think a lot of people struggle with, for one, getting the best resolution out of their Dreamcast, but also like what's the best way to do it. A lot of people say go to VGA and then upscale it. Some people say go to SCART and upscale it. Some people say that the Akura box is the best way to do it and use that with the FrameMeister. I think that VGA, or the Akura over FrameMeister, is, you know, that's overkill. Like, that's way too much. So I don't know, this might be a good solution, because I know my Elgato will support component, so I can record with component, which is what I'm going to hopefully use to record some PS2 stuff in the near future. But yeah, this could be good. I think it'll be a decent product in the end, and I think I probably will end up, to be honest, sort of switching out some of the components I have and have it as a permanent part of my setup, either downstairs in my basement or in my office right now where I record. But probably in the near future also, I'm working on it. The office space is going to be migrating. This bedroom will belong to somebody else at some point, so I think I'm going to have to retire this current setup, unfortunately, and it'll probably end up back in my basement, which is not the end of the world. My basement is pretty decent, but it does mean that I'll probably go at least a week or two without streaming, only because I'm probably going to need a lot of time to set everything up properly, and there's going to be a lot of reconstruction in this house in the near future, and unfortunately I'm the only one that's going to be doing it. So it is what it is. Oh darn! I think I launched that guy way too soon. Boom. Okay, and oh shoot, we're frozen. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Okay, so let's see how long we last in the third evolution of Falls. But yeah, that being said, I am quite happy with the setup I have now. I do like the fact that I can change the output resolution of my VGA signal with my... Oh shoot, my friend has died. Hopefully he has some scape dolls so that way we can heal him. Yes, he does. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll actually switch our weapon. Is that going to be any more effective? Not really. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm losing my words here because I know that I'm sort of panicking a little bit. Oh shit. Okay, do we have any moon atomizers? Yes, we do. Okay. We might have to switch over to our Yasminkov. Let's try that, see if that's any more effective on good old Falls. I know in Ultimate it's really not that effective, but we might get lucky here in Very Hard. Okay, where did our friend Tiago go? There he is. Okay, come on, Falls, open up. Oh, shoot. The auto aiming on this is just atrocious. Alright, run around. Hopefully we can draw his fire so that way he won't attack our friends. And so far so good, and boom. Okay, we're going back to our Android rifle because this is not working. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. And our Android rifle is actually hitting for quite a bit, so maybe we'll actually be able to take this guy out with little to no fuss. Boom. Okay. Damn. Okay, where's Tiago? There he is. Okay, I think I'm almost out of mood atomizers, my friend. Alright, up top, where did he go? There he is. Alright, try to draw his fire so that way he's not attacking Tiago. And auto aim. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. Okay, cool. So we have quite a few trimates left. I think whatever tech that Tiago has is really helping our character in terms of his strength, which is decent. But we might actually be able to take out Falls. Cool, this is good. I suspect it's also because I've upgraded the armor on my character quite a bit recently, thanks to our friend Kiroheim, and donating all those wonderful rings and guard waves and stuff like that. Come on. Almost, okay. We might be able to take him out next round. We've actually been bringing him down quite a bit. So this is good, and hopefully... Boom. Oh, come on. Get out of there. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh no, okay. This is not good. Boom, boom. Oh shit, okay. And then that's all she wrote. Okay, let's go back to our Android rifle because that was actually being quite effective. Bang. And we're gonna insta-die again. Shit, this is not good. Boom, and are we gonna insta-die? Come on, Tiago, I'm counting on you, friend. Fuck! Okay, good. We got another escape doll. Alright. Shoot. Did I tag him? I think I'll still get the XP. Well, this is good. I know that Tiago was worried that we weren't going to be able to beat Falls, and I think this is the first time I've actually taken the lead with beating Falls on Very Hard. So, there you go. Sorry, guys. I forgot to switch the main gaming screen over. All right, there we go. Res clear. Complete this. Res clear. Completed. Return to city. There you go. There's my words. No kidding. I was running on fumes there. Good job. Alright guys, I'm so glad we were able to beat Falls on very hard, because that gives me confidence that, you know, we might be able to do an offline quest and beat Falls. I think we're finally there. I think our character's finally there where we can actually hold on. So we'll give it a try at some point. In the meantime, let's go back to almost at level 80. Well, close, not quite, but you're getting there, buddy. Alright, is there anything of value here that we can take? Bang! Not so much. Well, regardless, we got the XP, and how far away are we? Oh my goodness. We're actually not that far away. If we were to do an ultimate run, we could probably get a level up pretty quickly. Okay, let's go back to town, unload, and get some more gear, and see what Tiago's up to next. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, here we go. So I think I should probably feed my mag, give item, diamate. Give item, diamate. Give item, diamate. Sweet. Okay, so let's get some more dimates while we're here. Oh, are these gifts from Tiago? That would be nice. Hit material, hit material. Fortunately, we are upgraded fully with our hit, so we do not need that, but I appreciate it regardless. Okay, buy, dimate, 10, yes, and yes, definitely escape doll. Okay, so what do we have here? We don't need night power. We don't need monofluid. We don't need this baton. We will use our mono grinder. We will use our evade material. Okay, item, item, evade material, use, and item. Yeah, we can. I think we still have our. Yes, we do. Cool. All right, our Android rifle is looking pretty decent. Okay, let's see what's going on next. Wanna hit the lobby. Let's go to the lobby and just see what other people are up to. First, let's go and talk to the leader here and get our reward. Unfortunately, we died quite a bit, so I suspect we're going to be rank B, but we did pretty well. And we are... Oh, we're A rank. I'm so shocked. Okay. I thought for sure we were B rank. Oh, it looks like Tiago's left, so doesn't really matter. Okay, talk to the guild counter. 10,000 Meseta. Yay! Alright, cool. So let's go back to the lobby and see what other people are up to. Okay. Do-do-do-do. Yes, these are all legit weapons. Believe it or not. I just got them from, I know the S rank weapon was given to me by Kuroheim rather, and or Kurohime, I think it might be pronounced. Somebody corrected me on that. And anyways, they got that weapon by completing challenge mode, which you always get some form of an S rank weapon from what I understand. Challenge mode is quite long. I've never completed it. The other weapons I just got through trading, and I've just upgraded pretty much max at this point. But yeah, they're all legit. You can't play with cheat with hacked weapons. It'll kick you right out of the server. So I was surprised that we got A rank. I thought for sure we would have got only B. Good stuff. I don't think I've ever beat Falls on VH before without a ton of help. Cool, so let's see who else is logged into some of these other games. Organize, join. So we got 4 on 4 in the runs, so they're probably fully stocked, but that's okay. With your level, I think you won't have... Yeah, but my Meg sucks, and I kinda suck at this game. Yes, this is DC version 2. It's actually the Eve's PSO, which is a version of Phantasy Star Online that's been streamlined and optimized. It also includes a built-in patcher, so you don't have to swap out the patch disk. It's just pretty much the best version of PSO that you can get. Load times are a lot quicker, and the patcher is the biggest advantage of getting that version. So I would suggest downloading it. You can get it for free anywhere. I use my USB GD-ROM at the moment for this particular Dreamcast setup, so you know, you can easily just burn it to disk and play it that way. I did that for the longest time. It's not a problem. So, and I think that the guy who runs the Dreamshell Facebook group has managed to optimize it so you can actually play it over serial if you have a USB serial adapter. So, or not a USB, a SD serial adapter. So, I never played, but I heard it's the better version, but I don't really wanna play it on PC. I'm a purist or masochist. I don't know the difference. Oh, so you're having some problems with your console resetting. So that's a pretty common error with your console, and I think the best thing you can do for it, actually, if you want to, I've got extra power supplies that I'm not going to be using, so you know, if you do need a new power supply and you want to PM me, just let me know. Maybe we can work something out. So but yeah, that's a common fault when it starts resetting, is that the power supply starts failing. So you have a couple of options at that point, because odds are it's not going to be a hardware fail. Well, it will be a hardware fail, but it's going to be an easy fix. Just replace the caps, should work fine. If that doesn't work, maybe buy a couple of junker PS or Dreamcast rather, and take the power supplies out of that. Failing that, get the Dream PSU. But unfortunately, the guy who makes it is only going to make it if his Saturn PSU takes off. So if that takes off, he's going to release more Dream PSUs and go that route. I have one currently installed in my Dreamcast, and it's amazing. Now, the Dream PSU is not a power supply unit. Now, it's about this big. You know what? I think I have my extra one here. So just give me 1 second. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. So, the Dream PSU, oh, let's just say hello to everybody. Hey, all is this right here. Now, this was released by a guy named Chris Moon, and it replaces your original power supply unit with this thing. Now, this thing is pretty brilliant. It is, and in fact, I'm going to switch over to the different screen just so I can show you guys a little bit better. Now, I've showed this off before, and it's great. So it is actually not a power supply unit per se. It's more like a power distributor. So you just take out your old power supply unit, you plug it in through there, and you use this little adapter cable here, and you just plug it in like so. And you put it into the other end of your Dreamcast. Now, you are going to need to provide your own power supply unit, which is 12 volt. I'd say, like, I went with the 5 amp adapter. They have the barrel size on the website. The coolest thing is that it also has these little breakout ports on the top, and those are for 12 and 5 volt. So if you have like 12 volt LEDs that you want to plug in, you can power them off of that as well. But yeah, this little thing will solve all problems. It keeps the heat down inside your Dreamcast quite a bit if that's an issue. You can also install new fans because you've got the 12 volt breakout ports. So if you can get that, I would suggest that, and that should probably save your Dreamcast. Saving that, I would say just get a new PSU. It just make life easier. You don't necessarily... I'd say the easiest way to do it is just buy like a lot on eBay. Sometimes people will sell like broken Dreamcasts for like $50 or something like that. And, you know, maybe you can refurbish a couple of them, make your money back, and then there you go, get your Dreamcast repairs covered. But that's more than likely what it is, unless you feel comfortable recapping it. You should probably be able to tell quite easily just by looking at the caps if something's been leaking, and you know, you can look with a magnifying glass to see if there's any cracks in the board that broke any traces. But yeah, odds are it's probably a cap issue, and that should be pretty easy to figure out. So give it a try, see what happens. You can get back to me in private messages if you like as well. So do I use a Pi adapter for the connection? Yes, I do for some games, but currently I'm using the BBA, and I'm only using that because of convenience, really. Like, the DreamPi is really convenient to use, but with the BBA, I just find that the connection is a little, just a touch faster. So I do notice that that is better, particularly for PSO. You can only use the BBA for a handful of games right now, which is, you know, actually more than I think it was originally intended to. I think really when it first came out, most people just got it for, I believe, 4 games. I think you could use it for, or maybe even 2. I think it was just Quake and PSO, but I think you can use it for Toy Racer at the moment and Monaco Grand Prix. I can't remember exactly, but anyways, it will support a handful of games that are currently live, but the DreamPi is pretty much the ultimate way of connecting to play all of the games. So I would suggest going DreamPi before anything else. Alright, so everybody is back in. It looks like we got a mixed bag of people. What time is it? 11 o'clock? I'm probably going to have to say goodbye to everybody quite soon, but I will definitely be on again on Saturday because I have the evening off. Alright, so let's say goodbye to some of our friends here and just let them know that we will see them again Saturday. Good news. I have a babysitter for Friday, which means I'll be able to get on tomorrow at a decent time. Yep, adult life. Okay, guys, gotta jet for now. All right, cool. So we'll probably see everybody again tomorrow. Sorry, it's 11 p.m. here and past my bedtime. Yes, unfortunately I have to get up quite early tomorrow, but I also have the evening off, so it'll make it all worth it. So hopefully everybody can tune in again tomorrow. Maybe we'll try something different. Maybe we won't even try PSO. Maybe we'll try a different game that's online and see what other people are up to. So we'll give it a shot. In the meantime, let's save 1 game character data saved. Sweet. And let's get out of here. So quick game. Yes. I really want to play World Series Baseball 2K2. That looks like a lot of fun. I really like playing baseball games. It'd be really interesting to see how well it plays online as well. So Outrigger would be awesome to play online, but unfortunately it's not live yet. I think that PC Wizard and crew are trying to work on that at the moment, but nobody's really that and Unreal. But I think they're having some issues with the server. From what I understand, Unreal is being really challenging because the server code is quite unique. So the guy that's building it is having a bit of difficulty fine-tuning it, but I believe Unreal is going to be the next game that we see live, as well as, from what I understand, essentially all of the 2K sports games are going to be live at some point because all of that server code is pretty similar. But don't quote me on it. I am not a server building aficionado. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate everybody jumping into the stream. Sorry that they're so intermittent, but like I said, there's been a lot of things happening lately, so I haven't been able to jump on as frequently as I would like. But tomorrow I have the entire evening free, so we'll play some game. We might not play PSO because I know there's quite a few PSO videos up there. As much as I like it, might play it again on Saturday. But I'd really like to see some of these new live games, maybe Worms, maybe Monaco, maybe 2K2 base World Series, something. But we'll play something tomorrow, guarantee. Okay, and in the meantime, everybody, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And we will see you again tomorrow. So take care.